everyone, this is me, Dusty Circuit, here with another Kerbal Space Program video. And today we're actually starting with a mission that's already in orbit because, well, this was a pretty big rocket that I put together to actually go on interplanetary missions with. But it turned out it took many launch attempts because, well, I only really have the mainsails really and the Rockomax. Well, what are these? It's these fuel tanks. Like this fuel tank and the mainsail are the biggest like lifters available to me right now, and I I had to make this really big rocket with like probably 6 or 7 stages just to get this and just to get what you see here into orbit. Also with a lander attached to the back of it. And I've also attached to the front a it's the refinery that actually turns ore into fuel, and then these are mining drills, which well, you can mine from asteroids or from the surface of a planet, but in this particular case, I intend to dock to an asteroid. But so in between episodes, I just extended all my solar panels and just kind of circularized my orbit around Kerbin. But I kind of realized a little bit of a flaw. I forgot to put parachutes on my lander, which might be a problem if we're actually gonna land on Duna with this thing. But rather than relaunch this mission, I'm gonna send another ship with parachutes, and then one of our engineer Kerbals. We actually have a lot of engineer Kerbals up here where they can actually attach the parachutes to the lander. So that's what we're gonna do to save this mission. Okay, so probably would have cutted most of what I've been recording out of this video because of the sheer amount of reattempts I've had to do, which I don't want to bore you with at all. But basically, so my first attempt at this was I was gonna put all this stuff that's on the outside of my rocket into a cargo bay, and then have Bill Kerman actually pick it up out of there and then put it onto this ship. But turns out that Kerbals really have a really small limit of what stuff they can carry. Like literally just one of these parachutes or one of these RCS thruster blocks would have been too much for them to carry. So instead I just attach them to the outside of this, and then I'm just gonna have Bill EVA and then move everything over, like kind of a similar way that I did to what I did with the Minmus mission I did a couple of videos ago. So have him go on EVA, and then we'll do this. I gotta say, this is really my first time I am making major use of EVA construction. Yeah, I did not want to remove that engine. Okay, so I've finished attaching the parachutes to the lander. So I've time warped ahead to when we're actually now on the day side of Kerbin again, and I've actually turn the mothership around so it's at least so this side is now facing me. And so basically now we're going to attach these RCS thrusters onto the mothership. Or at least try to anyway. Oh, I just forgot that you can just drop objects in space. Although they will kind of drift away if you're not quick. Okay. Well, probably been recording for over 3 hours at this point, and we haven't even left Kerbin yet. Well, I think I'm gonna be cutting most of that process out just because it was very, very, very drawn out. Well, I'm even like attaching the parachutes and the RCS ports to our to this ship. So I'm gonna return Bill home, or Bill to Kerbin, and then I'm going to send this on its interplanetary mission. Okay, so guess we're ready to finally embark on our journey. Okay, so the thing about these nuclear engines is, they have good, specific impulse, or I guess in other words, basically efficiency. But they have a very low thrust to weight ratio, and you probably saw that when I was desperately trying to get this thing into orbit when all of my lift stages ran out before I was even in orbit. And still had to go like another, I think it was 200 meters per second just on the nuclear engines just to get into orbit. But now it's just a matter of burning until we're actually on a escape trajectory. And we're really just gonna keep. We're just gonna keep facing this direction and burning our engines until we're out of Kerbin's sphere of influence. Should be happening fairly shortly. And there we go. And so that yellow line is actually going to be our orbit around Kerbal, the star in the home system. Or you might want to just call it the sun. Oh yeah, it actually is called Kerbal in the game. And we said we were gonna head for Duna, so that's what we're doing. We're facing the wrong way for an inclination correction. And I guess now we actually can plan our our encounter for actually from looking at directly at Duna. But we want to be as such as that we're actually gonna be prograde to Ike. Or that way we're retrograde, which we don't want. I think we'll go with that. That's a view right there. And now we are on our trajectory to Duna. I think it might be good to just get in a bit closer so we can actually make use of what's called the Oberth effect. And we're actually going to be doing our burn to get into orbit. That's always fun. A lot of love it when you're time warping and your encounter disappears, so you don't know entirely when it's gonna be. There we go. And so I'll do science once we're actually in orbit around Duna. So right now, if we don't do anything, we're actually going to escape. But we don't want to escape, we want to be in orbit. And there's Duna. And Duna looks pretty cool with the with the visual mods I have. Actually, kind of looks quite a bit like Mars does. I actually think we might be better to burn closer to periapsis than that. Oh, you always love to watch that lovely, like to see the orbital line like go, like when you're doing basically when you're getting into orbit around a planet. It's always satisfying to see the orbit like hook around and then like turn into an ellipse like that. Guess I'll just lower it like that, just so we don't get an encounter with Ike and then get flung out of the Duna system. Now we can do some science. And if you want to read the science definitions, you feel free to pause the video. I just realized I think I forgot. I think I forgot to bring mystery goo. Oh well. It seems like you really can only do one crew report, which is weird. Oh, listen, that's another effect. Oh no. Here we still got an Ike encounter. Well, I guess I'll use this as an opportunity for science. So I was going to time warp to actually show you like an eclipse, because that's another effect of the visual mods. But looks like we got a unexpected Ike encounter here. Maybe I guess I'll use this as an opportunity for science anyway. This is the seismometer, which only works when you're on the surface of an object. So that's I'm not. Like if I click this, it says it can't be done right now because I'm not on the surface of a planet or a moon right now. I guess I'll save the low Ike science for when we're actually gonna land. Okay, now shouldn't be in an orbit now where we're gonna be running into Ike's sphere of influence, so... Oh yeah, you just saw it there. Wait for Ike to go in front again. Yeah, you can just see it. You see it right there. I don't know if we can't see it from here, but that's an eclipse. Oh, and you can see it there. It's very, very, very cool. And thinking we just could do one landing on Duna, take off, and then, well, if we have much fuel left, well, we still have liquid fuel and oxidizer in our mothership, so if as long as we can make it off of Duna, we can land on Ike if we want to, or we should be able to. So maybe just get into kind of a lower orbit and then circularize. Okay, so I'm now going to... I'll also do a named quick save. And so I am going to just temporarily put the mothership into an entry trajectory, and then drop the lander, and then get out of this. Yeah, there's the lander going away from us. And this blue orbit is the mothership or the interplanetary stage, and this white orbit is the lander. So it's going to go really close to Duna's surface. Oh, I did not want to do that. I guess let's activate these manually. As for these parachutes, I guess... let's activate them manually. And then the atmosphere on Duna is a lot thinner than on Kerbin. So we might have to burn retrograde to slow down before we can even our parachutes even become effective. These are actually currently going too fast for the parachutes to deploy. Oh, there goes our chutes. We're just throttling up just as a safety measure, just in case our chutes don't slow us fast enough. And we're gonna be on the side of a cliff. This is not good. Okay, well, we're kind of sliding down this hill, but I don't know, maybe lifting off and landing down there might be a little risky. I guess I'll attempt that, but well, what happens if we we stop sliding? It's actually a good way to stop yourself from sliding is to retract your landing gear. Just for whatever reason, the landing gear, it's like your grip on the ground is less than if you just let your engines touch the ground. And if you wanted to read that, you just pause the video. Yeah, no shit. And now we can, now that we're on the surface of a planet, we can do this one. And now that we're within the atmosphere of a planet, I can run this one. That's a lot of science, wow. And another thing you can do is actually quick show the spectrometry results. And then if you wait, it'll actually show you what this is, what this reads. And as you can see, it's mostly carbon dioxide with just a mixture of like nitrogen and these other gases. And you see some of these are even like just a few parts per million and parts per billion. No kidding. And I guess we can plant a flag here. So now we have my face on the surface of Duna. Now time to try to lift off. Lifting off from this hill is going to be interesting. And now we're officially off Duna. We're just changing our inclination here to so we can rendezvous with our mothership. I'm just waiting for my rendezvous window, and then I pass it up. For some reason, whenever I go like in and out of time warp, it like the names of the planets for like distant object enhancement, like to briefly pop into view. If you're wondering what all that is. And so there's our... I'm not sure if I want to call it sometimes I like to call my, like, my parent spacecraft. Like, sometimes I call it a mothership, sometimes I call it an interplanetary stage. I'm not really sure. Like, sometimes I guess I just tend to kind of use both words interchangeably. I mean, if we're gonna be refueling this thing, I guess I could have not like dropped one of my stages, but It also would have been dead weight for me getting out of Duna's atmosphere. Okay, we want to turn our mothership around so we're facing our lander. In fact, for those of you who watch, or if anybody watches Matt Lowndes' Kerbal Space Program, this is what he calls his lazy method of docking, which is where we turn just turn the ships so they're facing each other with the SAS, and then just go towards it with RCS. But my lander doesn't have RCS, so I have to use the interplanetary stage. Oh wait, we're actually pointing backwards technically, so I have to fire the RCS backwards to go forward. And we're redocked. And it's just gonna shut down the lander's engines so we don't burn those. So I went to Duna and made it off successfully. And I think I think what would be best is to go for Ike next. And if we have fuel left, maybe one of these like minor planets, maybe like out in this area. But I mean, if we can find an asteroid, we'll be able to refuel. But it looks like all of those are like by Kerbin. And doesn't look like there's asteroids here. But anyway, I guess so we're gonna go for Ike next. Which we actually briefly had an unintentional encounter with. While I actually was trying to show you the eclipses around Duna. And so when you're planning a like an intersect, it's basically you see if you see these like tick marks, it shows you your closest approach. But Ike is such a big sphere of influence, it's really not hard to get captured by it. Oh, I believe we can oh, not quite yet. I was thinking we were gonna be able to stage, get rid of our, like our outer fuel tanks, but we're not quite to that point yet. And so now we're just gonna get in orbit around Ike. I think we'll actually go for a landing trajectory right now. Then we'll just undock from the lander. We're gonna kind of knock it out of the way, and then we're gonna turn around. And then we'll put us back in orbit while the lander goes to the surface. Oh, wait a minute, I should... Let's go back. I should have refueled that thing before I dropped it. So let's go do that. And so how you can actually transfer fuel between different fuel tanks by basically, if I like alt right clicking, then alt right clicking another fuel tank, and then where it says like out and out, though, as I think this is from Interstellar Extended. I have an electric charge thing here, but if you're just playing stock KSP, you just have the liquid fuel and the oxidizer. So basically, to refuel this tank, you just click out and then out. And see how this is filling up and this is emptying? That's the fuel moving over. Okay, so our lander is fully refueled. Now we can land. Okay, now it's land. Now we can get in space slow science. This is an interesting thing. Apparently on Ike there are these like what look like red crystals. Which I guess you'll be able to see once we get closer to the surface. And we've touched down on Ike. Yes, apparently with this thing, you can even get an atmospheric measurement in a body without an atmosphere, which is interesting. Probably enough the same as with the drill. That sucks. And I don't get a view where the sun's hitting the flag, but oh well. Oh, and here's what these crystals look like up close. Guess they're just like a ground scatter. And I believe there actually is a setting to actually make the scatters so you collide with them. So it's just kind of interesting, though. That would definitely make landing a lot more of a challenge. Yeah, but Ike's looks rather interesting in this mod and with these mods. With stock, like this moon just looks like not unlike the moon, not unlike Kerbin's moon, like probably like I'd say kind of how the moon looked in earlier versions of Kerbal Space Program, like Kerbin's moon. Oh, first, kind of interesting is the Mark One lander can actually has these screens that you can interact with. Although I believe this is part of the raster props monitor mod. Which gives you all these different like interfaces. I feel like maybe we could, because Ike has a lot lower gravity and no atmosphere, we could probably go to other biomes. I'm not quite sure where the biomes are. Maybe we could go there. I don't really want to do too much of this because I don't have a ton of fuel left. Oh, now we're in a new biome. And there's even like haze, like I think we kind of saw on Minmus, which is neat. That looks like that's something. It looks like the surface sample drill and the spectrometer actually are not biome specific. So it's like if you get science, you get multiple science from one planet, it's like, I guess you can't keep it, it looks like. At least not in one spot. Like if I had the storage containers for science, I could do that, but I would need one storage container for every time I got science. But so maybe, think we maybe go for one more landing. Oh, we don't have good control with this now. Is it because of the drill? Well, looks like if I just do really light burns, I can basically still maintain control. It's only if I really gun the throttle that I lose control. Oh, I think it's... I could go for more biomes, but it's... Maybe... kind of just for keeping the video to a reasonable length, I'll just get off. I'll just call this mission done. And then maybe we could go to one of the like dwarf planets that's added by the Minor Planets expansion. And I haven't been to any of those, so it's gonna be new for me. Okay, this is not good. I can't keep control of my freaking... Yeah, it's probably because I have an off-center... My center of mass is off because I guess these parts have weight. And I only have them on one side of my lander. Guess we just can't do full throttle. Is with SAS and like kind of up to about half throttle, I can sort of maintain prograde. But it's always a little bit off, as it can't. I think I might, as soon as I rendezvous with the mothership again, I think I'll have one of the engineer Kerbals actually take the drill and maybe move it to the other side. Or I don't know, I might just take the drill off. If it's just gonna be a problem. Well, this wouldn't have been a problem if had I equipped a reaction wheel, but I guess I forgot to do that. Well, that's a great view of Duna. I swear, I gotta freaking disable sticky keys. So fucking annoying. Now we're docked with her mothership again. And I actually want to see what I can do about that issue with the instability of the lander. Like as it's flying. So that is rather annoying. Guess we can't move it. But I bet we can move this battery. Yeah, we can. Yeah, I guess we can't remove this because it's... I guess it's a modded part. Well, that sucks. Well, if we plan to land on... We could return home. Or we could go to... Or if we're going to another planet to land on from here, it's going to be more than likely one of these objects that are out here, but this might be a little bit of a stretch, like Delta V wise, but unless we go for one of the really closer in ones, but even then these are on kind of weird orbits. And in fact, I haven't shown you what these look like this is one of them. Yeah. Well, at this point it is 11 p.m. so I am gonna stop recording this video here, and I guess in fact I might just call the entire flight from Kerbin to Duna and then all the science I did at Duna and Ike as a video, and then in the next video we're gonna try to go out to explore one of those other objects that are a little bit far, that kind of around Drez's orbit. In fact, some of them might even be so small we don't even need a lander. We might even be able to, or it might be a little risky, but we might even be able to have one of our Kerbals jetpack and then go down to the surface. But so I'll be ending my video here, and thank you all for watching. This has been me, Dusty Circuit, here with another Kerbal Space Program video. If you liked what you saw, remember to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you want to see more of my videos, be sure to hit the bell for notifications. Peace out. Bye.